Good evening, everyone, and welcome to week one in CU 122 Culinary Arts and Patisserie, which is a very, very exciting class. Chef Suzanne and I are awfully excited to have everybody on board with us. This looks like Chef Suzanne is running a little bit late this evening. She's having some internet challenges, so hopefully she'll be able to join us soon. If not, you'll have a chance to meet her during the next live session. My name is Warren Weeks, Chef Warren Weeks, and I have been in the business of culinary arts for the last 38 years. I spent the majority of my career as an executive chef, director of food and beverage. I've worked all over the world. I still work with Hyatt Corporation. I work at a property by the name of Marival, which is a very high-end version of a Hyatt here in Tucson, Arizona. I am married to an incredible chef. She was Iron Chef Tucson for several years, so we have a very heavy-duty culinary household. V was sharing some stuff about her book that's coming out, which I was really impressed about. But we have two children as well, and we do quite a bit of cooking here at our household. So when you were sharing that, I was thinking about my children and what happens behind the stove, and sometimes that's kind of cool. So this class, I work in a very open door situation. Definitely communicate with me. I rely upon that. A lot of professionalism. We call it the chef standard. Once all of you make your way into industry, if you're not always already there, professionalism is a huge part of everything we do, and so we certainly anticipate this in the class. Each week here in this class, during our live session, we'll go through PowerPoints, which will explain the recipe in detail and a couple of other details that we need to pick up on. And then following the class, that PowerPoint will be posted onto the class page for your reference. So if I miss something or if I talk a little bit quick, don't worry, it's going to be posted for you, because sometimes I get on a soapbox and I'm like a freight train and you can't stop me no matter what. So don't worry about it. I'd like a lot of active participation during the live session. So raise your hand, ask questions. I've been around for a lot of years, and most likely if I don't know the answer, I'll certainly get it for you right away. We're going to take a look now at our weekly presentation, which is going to give us some cool information. And we're going to discuss basically some of the expectations that we have in this course, and then we're going to jump into our actual assignment this week to get ourselves going. So everybody, welcome to CU 122. I'm kind of behind the eight ball here, because I know you guys had some fantastic instructors with Chef Quinn and Chef Caesar. Those are two gentlemen that I really respect. I think they're fantastic. And so hopefully we can continue to build upon it. Live sessions are extremely important, especially in this class. We share a lot of information. A lot of that information is theoretical information for you to build upon. And if you don't attend or watch the live session, the class is going to be a challenge for you. I understand that, hey, we all have commitments and we can't make it for one reason or the other. At least take the time to review the live session. And I just mentioned that each week this presentation will be posted onto the class page. So if anybody has additional questions, make sure you refer to that. Procrastination is a pet peeve of mine. Each week, you're going to be sent out what we call the prep list. And that prep list is to help you organize your week. We understand you can't do everything. Everything's changed, things happen. But procrastination in the world of culinary arts is the kiss of death. So if you're calling me up on a Tuesday night at 11:59 saying, hey, I need a little bit more time to get that assignment in, try to work ahead of the curve. When we do a banquet for 500 people, right, we don't start cooking the day of. We start a couple of days before, and we organize it. We line out a prep list. We make a measure of how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, and who's going to do it. And we need to start getting ourselves in that same habit now. So when you are in industry, you're not going to walk in and be blindsided by being a procrastinator. We don't want that for anybody. So please stay ahead of the curve on that. And then Chef Suzanne and I are both here to help you and work with you. We will answer any and all of your questions all the time, no matter what. But you have to make the effort to reach out and communicate with us. I'll be communicating with all of you throughout this course. But certainly, if you have questions or you hit a stumbling block, pick up the phone and call. You are not bothering us. We are here to help you and work with you, and we enjoy doing that. And that's part of this whole gig. I mentioned at the beginning of the class, I spent my whole life in culinary arts, and I had a lot of great mentors when I was young. I'm at the stage now where I'm giving back, and so it's a pleasure for me to be able to help you. So take advantage of our resources. But before you call us, the first thing we're going to ask you, did you watch the live session and did you read the weekly presentation? Right? If you hit a stumbling block after that, we are your people to help you out all the way. And then your assignments each week are going to be graded by Chef Suzanne Lasagna, who unfortunately
I'm here, Chef.
Oh,
I'm
here
here.
she is. Yes.
I'm here.
Yes. Oh, that makes me so excited. Chef,
I'm super excited too. I have been on my computer all day, zero issues until 5 minutes before class starts. And my daughter said, I think there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi. And I was like, what? No internet, totally down. So we are back up and running.
Chef Suzanne, hands down, is the best evaluator on this campus. And all of you are going to be working a lot with her, and she has a lot of great feedback on your assignments. And I want to take a moment to introduce her and share a little bit about your background, fill us in on Texarkana, and the floor is yours.
Okay, well, filling you in on Texarkana will not take very long. So I'm coming from beautiful Texarkana, Texas. My name really is Suzanne Lasagna. That is my maiden name because it was way too cool to give up. So I'm still a lasagna, and I don't know that I'll ever not be. I have done just about anything and everything you can think of in food service. I have worked as a dishwasher, a host, a server, back of house. I have been kitchen manager, sous chef, garde manger chef. I have worked in country clubs. I've been general manager at chain restaurants. I worked in convention centers. I've also taught now for 11 years, catering, personal chef service, you name it. I probably tried it at some point or another. This is what I love to do, what I love to talk about. I have more pictures on my social media of food than of my children. Not that I don't love them, but you know, food is awesome. So I'm here if you need me. Like Chef said, always feel free to reach out.
Yeah. Well, welcome. We are so excited that you made it. Just a little background, Chef Suzanne had a little challenge last time with her internet, and so I didn't have her for that last class, and I kind of feel like the better half of the program is not with us, so I'm so glad that she's here. So continuing on to what we were talking about, each week Chef Suzanne is going to be grading your assignments. We want your assignments in early, right? Just like we do in industry, you don't wait till you get there to build the habit. You build the habit now, so when you get there, you can succeed and continue to grow. So remember that in the back of your head. If it's due Tuesday night at 11:59 Central Standard Time, like standard recipes like or standard assignments like your last course, we would like to see it on Saturday before. And the reason for that is Chef Suzanne is going to give you some great feedback, some great suggestions on how to fix that assignment. This way you can resubmit, bring that grade up. We want to see everybody walk out the door with 100. That is our goal at the end of the day. When Chef Suzanne grades your assignment, she's going to grade it based on the information in this live session and in the assignment page, which is also called the rubric. Any other advice there, Chef Suzanne, on that one?
Not really. You know, again, if you run into troubles, make sure you reach out. And I know Chef, I'm sure, has already talked about this. I'm a few minutes late. Staying on top of things, don't procrastinate. If you wait until late Tuesday, it's hard for us to help and offer suggestions and answer questions. We do sleep at least a little, so we try our darndest to help you as much as we can, but don't wait.
Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful words of advice. Next thing we have to talk about real quick before we move on to the meat and potatoes in the class. We value and expect professionalism in everything you do. This is a chef standard. Professionalism starts now, and it's going to continue on through your career. You will be far more successful in the world of culinary arts with the mentality of professionalism. It'll carry you very, very far. And then please, everybody, remember it's your responsibility to post attendance at least every 4 days. Otherwise, we're picking up the phone and saying, where are you? You okay? You need something? The reason we do that is we want to keep you close to the program. The closer you are to the program, the more you're going to learn, the better your chances are of succeeding. So with that, in conclusion, make sure that you prioritize yourself and dedicate the time to your success and your future. So any questions about that, anybody? Thoughts, concerns? No, we all good? Cool, I like it. Yeah. Next thing we have to talk about real quick, I'm not going to go into detail. You probably saw this in your last class. I'm really impressed with this class, Chef Suzanne, by the way, because when I got on here, I saw a sea of chef whites.
I actually just put that comment in the box. I literally just said they all look so awesome in their uniform. So that's too funny. I just commented on that.
I know. I have a feeling this class is going to be teaching me about professionalism. Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. This is going to be posted onto your class page in the weekly presentation. We don't need to go through it all. Basically, the whole summary of this is, please show up to the live sessions professional, looking good, and ready to participate. And this class is off to a great start so far, so no need to go into that. We've had some issues before in the past where there's been some odd things that are happening in the background, and you know, people that aren't really properly clothed, you know, walking through the back, and it gets a little awkward. So we want to avoid that if at all possible. Professionalism. Any questions? Straightforward. All right, ladies and gents, let's move forward to week 1 in CU 122. Pretty cool week we have on hand. This week, make sure that you pay attention to your research materials right up here at the top of the class page. Your research materials are a series of videos for you to watch regarding the assignment. And we're going to be watching one of those here in just a few minutes. Then you have a knowledge check. You might have to do a little bit of research on the internet to answer some of the questions about the produce items that are in the knowledge check. And then each week in our class presentation, we include a conversions chart. And each week in this class, you will have a conversions knowledge check. How many of you are good with conversions? All right, Jenna, yeah, there's Stephen, Luis, good. Anna? No? Anthony's up there? Okay, cool. Those are the people I can see right here. Let me expand my screen just a little bit. We're going to be working on those conversions. Let's answer some questions here real quick. Wallace, what's up? Wallace? Wallace?
Can you hear me?
Hi, Wallace.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, how you doing, sir? I'm at work right now. There might be some things I might not be able to catch. Would there be a video posted after class?
Immediately, it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to get the video posted onto the class page, and it will be your responsibility to make sure that you watch the live session archive if you miss the actual live session itself.
Yes, sir, because I'm teaching some things, but, you know, I have to take dishes out and things like that, and I might not be able to, you know, get some important things that you might say. I might miss it, so, you know, I want to be able to.
We got you covered, Wallace. We got you covered, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, going back to what we were just talking about. The conversions knowledge check. Conversions in the restaurant industry are critical, to say the least. Every single day you're going to be working with them, whether you're scaling recipes up and down. Customers ask nutritional information. You have to learn this. This is not something that comes easy for most people. It's a system of memorization. So make sure you pay attention. Don't forget the knowledge checks. each week. They add up in points. They are worth about 20% of your grade, and you can take them as many times as you like, and only the highest grade sticks, which is what the people like me benefit from that. Trust me. So that is absolutely an important thing to remember to do. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending our live session. And then don't forget, just like Wallace was asking about, the live session will be posted onto the class page about a half hour, 45 minutes following this, and you can watch the live session archive anytime you like. And then our assignment this week, we are making a composed salad and mayonnaise. Within that, we have to produce a vinaigrette, a composed salad, and then we also have to make mayonnaise this week. So salads are interesting. Do we all know what section of the kitchen the salads come from? That is called the garde manger department. The garde manger department is what we're going to be focusing on. That's where we do all the cold preparation in our commercial kitchens. Alejandro, what is your question?
For the conversion, will we be doing different types of conversions from pounds to ounces, gallons to cups, teaspoons, etc.?
Yes. Yes. Pretty soon you're going to know that there's going to be 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon, 16 tablespoons in a cup, 8 ounces in a cup, 2 cups in a pint, 4 or 2 pints in a quart. So you'll have all that memorized real soon in this class.
Right.
Just be patient. You'll get it each week. One week we'll work on volume. The next week we'll work on weight. Sound good?
Yep. Thank you, Chef.
Thanks, Alejandro. Like I mentioned earlier in the class, each week, Chef Suzanne and I send out this week 1 prep list. Chef Suzanne, what's the first thing you do when you get into work every morning? You get that clipboard, right?
I was just gonna say I'm a clipboard chef. I can't function without it. It literally makes my day complete or very, very incomplete and bad if my clipboard is missing. It's my lifeline to make sure everything gets done on time. When you're trying to navigate and keep everything organized, that clipboard, that list of everything that has to be done, I have to have it.
Yep.
There have been tears. I've literally cried if my clipboard disappears.
And physical violence and other things. As a chef, when you get into industry, the first thing you do every day is you grab a piece of paper, probably a cup of coffee or 5 or 6 cups of coffees, and you make yourself a list. We work with prep lists in the world of culinary arts. So get in the habit of following this now. If it doesn't work, rearrange it so it does fit your schedule and you can accommodate. Wednesday, attend the live session or watch the live session archive. Thursday, tomorrow, read your research materials, complete both knowledge checks. Bingo, it's done. Friday, review the assignment. Make your prep list. What, when, where, and how. And then purchase your mise en place. Saturday and Sunday, complete assignment, review it against the rubric, right? Go to the assignment page. Hey, do I have everything done? Am I good? Monday and Tuesday, chill. Make any necessary changes as suggested by Chef Suzanne. That's your average week here in CU 122. If you can develop that habit now of doing things just like that, if you create that habit, it's going to stick with you and you're going to rock in this course. Any questions? Anybody?
No, sir.
No, we all good? Let's move on to our conversions knowledge check here. This is a quick chart right here. Each week in the weekly presentation, which will be posted on your class page, there will be a different chart. All of us learn differently. Some people might look at this chart and just naturally absorb it. Other people need a different type of chart. So for some reason, Gallon Girl stuck with me. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Gallon Girl before, where she's got, the finger that cut, and that stuck with me. So hopefully it works. How many people out there are familiar with vinaigrettes? A couple of you? Yeah. Once you get into industry, you're going to be making lots of vinaigrettes. We work with that quite a bit. Vinaigrettes, I always compare to being kind of like one of the mother sauces, and it probably should have been the 6th mother sauce. if I could have guessed, because it is something that we do produce quite a bit of. The basic stuff that you need to remember about the vinaigrette is the classic formula is 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil. And then with the vinegar in the dish, you begin agitating, whisking quickly. And what that does is that disperses the drops of oil that you add slowly and helps to create a temporary emulsion. As you can see here, this is one that's been mixed vigorously, and this is one that has not been mixed vigorously. So on this page, we have a picture of just a basic classic vinaigrette. And it's fun because at this point, you can go into 100 different directions once you have learned the basic technique. You can certainly change your vinegars. Great vinegars to work with for vinaigrettes include apple cider, balsamic, white balsamic, sherry wine vinegar, which is one of my most favorite vinegars, and the list goes on and on and on. As far as the oils that you should be using in vinaigrettes, it's okay to go be a little bit more spendy. This is a great application for extra virgin or regular olive oil. If you're going to have a very powerfully flavored vinaigrette, meaning lots of herbs and garlic and shallots and chives and that type of stuff, don't spend the money on the extra virgin olive oil. It's a waste. Go with a simple salad oil or canola oil and allow the flavors of those other things that you're putting in to come through. So this week, you'll have to make a vinaigrette. Chef Suzanne and I enjoy creativity, right? We like it when you guys push the limit a little bit. So just because the recipe calls for a standard vinaigrette, jazz it up a little bit. Make it your style. The best way to grow in this industry, there's 2 things that help you grow in this industry. One is exposure. You have to expose yourself to a lot of different foods, whether it be through magazines, whether it be through cookbooks, going out to eat, watching videos. The more you see, the more you're going to know. And then the second thing that will really help you grow is to push the limits a little bit on the assignments. This week's assignment calls for a vinaigrette. We just told you how to make a basic vinaigrette. In this class, show us what you got, right? Chef Suzanne is going to check to make sure that you followed the directions to make a basic vinaigrette. But the additional stuff is all up to you. So, are there any questions about that? No?
Sure.
Vinaigrettes are great. They're lovely for salads. The biggest mistake that people make with vinaigrettes, though, is adding too much. The average salad, a dinner-sized salad, right, which is on a smaller plate, in industry, we use 3/4 to 1 ounce of dressing. We don't want to see any pictures of any salads that are swimming this week. We don't want anybody to be serving straws with their salads either because there's so much vinaigrette on the plate. The thing is, they need to be lightly tossed and the lettuce just on the greens, just enough to coat the greens. And that's all you really need. Once you get into industry, be very, very conscientious, though, about when you put your salad dressings on there. Vinaigrettes break lettuces down because of the sodium content. Salt that is found in the vinegars and in the vinaigrette itself will break down the vegetable fibers and force the lettuces to wilt. So salad dressings are always a la minute, which means to the minute. Sabrina, what's your question?
Hey, okay, so it's Sabina Noir. Are you okay if I, because I have every oil but like regular oil because I do keto. I generally do, and it's actually really good, is I've been making my vinaigrettes with MCT oil.
Okay. I haven't cooked with MCT oil, but you're certainly welcome to use it.
Okay, it's coconut oil. It just has no flavor. It's the the coconut oil that you can actually ingest.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's actually okay. Cool.
Absolutely.
It's either that or olive oil.
What Chef Suzanne is going to be looking for in this week's assignment is exactly what is written on the rubric. Did they execute according to the rubric? And that's a primary concern. And then we do take into consideration some of the creativity that's involved in this in the whole process.
Cool.
You can get away with just doing a basic vinaigrette, and that will be fine. But we get very excited when you take the vinaigrette and you kick it up a notch. You can add Dijon mustard. I mentioned earlier the chopped chives, the roasted shallots. You could add dried chilies to it. You could add fresh herbs to it. So the list goes on and on. Do some research. Find out what works. Chef Suzanne, do you have anything to add about vinaigrettes?
Well, not just research. Also, we like creativity, but I also want to make sure everybody steps outside of their box. It's so easy to kind of get caught in your own little, these are things I've made before. So try new things. So if when we're making things in class, if we're making a meatloaf and you make meatloaf all the time in one way, make a different kind of meatloaf, make something different. So if you make a vinaigrette at home that it's always balsamic vinaigrette, try a different one. Try something with some red wine and some rosemary or whatever, really push yourself to try new things. Then you're trying cooking with new things and tasting, smelling, utilizing new product. So that's new stuff.
Yep. Chef Suzanne and I consider when somebody tries and they push the boundaries and they fail, we consider that a success because that tells us that they're learning and they're trying different things, and that's very encouraging. So if it doesn't come out right the first time, assess what you did wrong, go back and do it again. And that happens. So thank you for those words, Chef Suzanne. Taking a look at our next assignment this week, it's one assignment with 3 parts. We're going to be working on composed salads. A composed salad is defined as a salad that is basically the greens on the bottom and then the ingredients that are consciously arranged on the top. And I'm sure most people are familiar with a Cobb salad, a chef salad, a chopped salad, or a salad niçoise. And that is our definition of the composed salad. This is a great opportunity for you to begin working on your plating techniques. Plating techniques in the restaurant industry are critical. We look for 3 primary factors when you submit your assignments, right, for Garde Manger. And this holds true in the restaurant industry. Color, height, texture. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at your photo and we're going to say, does it have those 3 elements? Be careful when you go to arrange your foods on your plates. The purpose of the arrangement is to enhance the composed salad, not to overtake the salad. And a lot of people, especially when they begin working with garnishes in industry, they have a tendency to go too much. Be conservative, hold yourself back. If you look at the plate and you think, oh, I didn't do enough, leave it alone. You've done enough. It's when you've done too much. And you want to make sure, it's critical that as you make your composed salad, that all the ingredients are visible. I'll use a chef salad, for example. We'll do a nice pie of chopped cheddar cheese. We'll do a nice pie of turkey and a nice pie of ham. So as the guest sees your plate, what's the first thing we eat with?
Eyes.
Eyes, right? And so the purpose of the composed salad is before that customer has even taken a bite of the plate, you've already sold them. They've already think they've gotten a bargain, right? So take your time, arrange that stuff nicely. There's a couple of pictures here, and there's additional pictures in the weekly presentation as well. But if you take a look how colorful and how appealing these things are, and it's just the food that shows through. And that's what we want to see. We want to see the food looking good. Right? So this is a Cobb salad right over here. This looks like a margarita shrimp salad. It's got roasted corn. And then for those of you that aren't familiar with a salad niçoise, got potatoes, haricots courts, which are fine French green beans, tuna, niçoise olives, and that's where it gets its name, and hard-boiled egg. So composed salads come in a lot of different shapes, and it's up to the author. Just make sure you follow the basic elements of creating the composed salad. Any comments on that, Chef Suzanne?
I actually just wrote this in the box. I promise I can see the wheels turning with folks just kind of, the wheels are turning with folks trying to figure out what they're going to put in these salads, how they're going to make their vinaigrette. I can see the wheels. I really can. I can't always see the wheels. Today I can see the wheels. I like that.
I love that. Something tells me we're going to have our hands full with this class, aren't we?
I think so, but that's okay. I'm pretty excited. I'm getting messages and things too with people shooting ideas. So this is very exciting.
Yeah. We want to encourage everyone to be creative. There is an element, right? If you don't want creativity, spend your life working in a hospital. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, the difference between that and a chef is we take these classic techniques and these classic dishes and we invoke and instill our creativity into them, right? It's how we identify ourselves. So our basic concern is that you master these techniques and master these items with your creativity. Does everybody understand that? Any questions? Anybody? Alejandro, do you have a question?
Can you just repeat what a composed salad it has?
Okay, a composed salad, it does not technically have anything. A composed salad is basically the greens on the bottom with the ingredients neatly arranged on the top. For example, if you were doing a chef's salad, or let's do a Cobb salad, for example. A Cobb salad traditionally would have the greens that have been tossed in a dressing on the plate. On top of the greens, you would have a nice row of chopped bacon. You would have a nice row of blue cheese, maybe a nice row of roasted turkey, maybe a nice row of diced tomato, depending on how you're preparing your chef salad. That would be the definition of a composed salad. Do you understand that, Alejandro?
Yes.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How about Carlene? Let's see. There you are. You're good.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, I have food restrictions, and I've been allowed to substitute. Will that be allowed in this class?
Absolutely. We're not interested. We're not interested in anybody having any reactions or anything like that. If you do have certain food restrictions which prevent you from being able to complete the assignment, make sure that Chef Suzanne understands what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're glad to work with you and accommodate you and take care of you. That's certainly not an issue. However, if you just run your assignment through, Chef Suzanne might send it right back. So, okay? Thank you. Marshall, what's up?
Good evening, Chef.
Good evening.
I'm into using more of the organic stuff right now. So I don't know if it's okay if I do my salad with the organic spring mix and all that stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a big believer in the organic movement. We can't get too much of that into that in this class because it'll take up the next 12 weeks. But you know, as far as gut health and the floral bacteria and the pesticides, Roundup, for example, getting into our systems, it's very dangerous, and it's been proven to cause a lot of cancers, et cetera, et cetera. So by all means, go for it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Marshall. Kenneth.
Hey, Chef. So as far as the actual recipes that are posted for us to use, are we able to somewhat deviate from those? Like if I wanted to add, let's say, crisp apples to chicken salad.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. We encourage that. Yeah.
Okay.
We want to see your take on it. We are our primary concern, number one, is that you learn the technique and the definition of what you're preparing. Secondly, we want to see your creativity. Okay? So if you want to take, that chicken salad and put, Thompson seedless grapes and Granny Smith apple or mango or whatever you want to in that salad, tear it up, man. Do it. Yeah.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Chef.
You're welcome. Madeline.
Hi, Chef.
Hey.
For the salad, we're not dressing the greens, right? That's going to be on the side, served on the side?
You do have to have a side picture of the mayonnaise and of the vinaigrette. Whether the greens are dressed or not, we won't know because you'll have it covered up because it's a composed salad.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Let's see, Alejandro, another question?
Yes. Instead of vinegar, it's a pus. Do chefs sometimes substitute it for lemon?
Oh, absolutely. I did a chef's dinner last night, as a matter of fact, and for the vinaigrette, I used micro watercress, an organic micro watercress for the lettuce with micro cilantro, and I dressed it with lemon and mesquite honey and extra virgin olive oil for the vinaigrette.
Okay.
For this assignment, though, we want to make sure that you're using the 1-to-3 ratio for the vinaigrette. We just want to make sure that you understand the basic technique. That makes sense?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Cool. Madeline, did you have another question or are you good?
Oh, no, sorry. Just forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, you're good. Hey, how about Veronica?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Does it matter whether you're using 1 tablespoon to 3 tablespoons or, does the size matter?
No, the quantity is up to you. Depends how big your family is and how many friends you have.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I asked that because I'm the only one that loves salad. So.
All right. So if you want to cut it down and do a teaspoon to three teaspoons, we're fine with that as well.
Okay.
So that's not a problem. It's just making sure that you understand the technique.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okie doke. Anybody else have questions? Gary, did you have your hand up?
No, sir.
No, y'all good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's move on to emulsifications. Emulsifications are something that we utilize quite a bit in the restaurant industry. And the technical definition to an emulsification is the temporary suspension of 2 non-binding ingredients. And to give you an example of that, water and oil do not go together, right? You wouldn't put a German Shepherd and a Chihuahua in the same room and expect happy things to come out of there, right? So that is not an emulsion. So we have to emulsify those 2 ingredients, which means to create a temporary suspension between those 2 non-binding ingredients. And this week we're going to be doing that. Did you all make hollandaise in your last block?
No.
No? Okay. So dressings in the industry, we will emulsify the salad dressings. So a mayonnaise, in a sense, is an emulsified vinaigrette, right? So the oil and the vinegar have been brought together in a temporary suspension, which makes a thick, creamy liquid. And to give you a real quick understanding of this, we'll take a stainless steel bowl with our egg yolks, and we will whisk them vigorously for a few minutes. And to get them smoothed out, we'll add a little bit of vinegar. And then we will add, as we're stirring vigorously, we will add droplets, not drops, but droplets, meaning small drops, very, very slowly to create the emulsion. what happens is the oil, as you're agitating that oil in there with the eggs, the oil breaks into droplets. The egg yolk has cholesterol and it has lecithin. I can't say that word, but can you say that word, Chef Suzanne?
Lecithin.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just not built that way. But at any rate, the egg yolk has the cholesterol and the L stuff. As you whisk vigorously, those tiny droplets of oil will coat those and creating an emulsion, which then becomes that thick, creamy substance that we all know called mayonnaise. So another classic form of emulsification is hollandaise, and that is classic as well. We're going to watch a quick video here on making the mayonnaise, because the first time people make mayonnaise, they run into some challenges, which is completely normal. If you're making it for this assignment and you run into concerns with it, do not be discouraged. Do not give up. You can do it. Sometimes it takes people 2, 3, 4, 5 times to get it right. So be prepared. Buy extra eggs. Word of advice. So let's take a look at what we have going on in this video. There we go. So mayonnaise is it's a thick, cold sauce. Some people refer to it as a dressing. We use it on sandwiches, composed salads. We make aiolis out of it, which has garlic and additional oil and additional flavorings in it. But there's a lot of different variations to mayonnaise. Can everybody see this all right? Can you see that all right, Chef Suzanne?
Yep, it's a little small, but I think it'd be okay.
All right. If it's too small, let me know.
Mayonnaise is made from vegetable oil.
Does anybody know that guy?
Egg yolks, lemon juice, or vinegar, and seasoning. It is created by an emulsion of liquid filled with droplets of another liquid. Mayonnaise is a permanent emulsion because the formula contains egg yolks. The egg yolks form a layer around each of the tiny droplets and holds them in suspension. First, place the yolks in a bowl that has been stabilized. Beat with a whisk until well beaten.
So to stabilize your bowl, an easy trick, if you don't happen to have an extra bowl laying around your house, take your kitchen towel, get it wet, and then fold it in like you're gonna whip somebody with it. Fold it up, and then create a circle on top of your cutting board with that wet towel, and then set the bowl into the circle, and that will hold your bowl still as you are whisking. He's whisking vigorously.
Add dry ingredients, the first quantity of vinegar and water.
The vinegar is going to loosen up the egg yolks, and so is the water.
Beat the egg yolks until they are thoroughly mixed. The color should be consistent throughout the entire mixture.
You're going to notice your egg yolks will become very light in color.
Add the oil slowly, drop by drop, while continuing to whisk.
The key thing, the key to success for this exercise, add a couple of drops, stop, whisk, make sure it's all incorporated, and then add a couple of more drops. Don't just slowly pour it in there. Droplets. Very, very slow. Stir it in there. Let it absorb. Let that emulsion create. After that emulsion is created, then you can increase the flow rate of your oil. To know that it's created, you will notice that the mayonnaise will change colors. It will become more white, and it will also begin to thicken. The more oil you add, the thicker it becomes.
Chef, can I stop real quick?
Yeah.
There's a couple of really good questions in the box asking about the type of bowl. Does it have to be metal or does it have to be stainless steel? Can it be a glass bowl?
Let's, okay, you want to stick with stainless steel bowls because they are non-reactive. Aluminum bowls or even copper bowls will react with the egg yolks and discolor them because of the L word, the lecithin. It will actually cause them to turn a gray greenish colors. Glass you can use while you are at home. Once you are in industry, you will find that glass bowls are few and far between. The reason is if they break, everything within an arm's reach has to go into the garbage can. So we do not use glass bowls in industry. So stainless steel bowls are the way to go. I think you can go to Walmart. They're a couple of bucks a pop. Is that right, Chef Suzanne? Pretty inexpensive?
Yeah, they're very, matter of fact, they even have them at Dollar General, Family Dollar kind of places because I've gotten some there. So yeah,
So
they're not expensive at all.
They're inexpensive. Donald, did you have a question? Donald.
Sorry. Yeah, yes, Chef. Can I use my KitchenAid?
Yes and no. For this assignment, no. You need to go through the assignment and learn how to do it to understand the technique. In the future, absolutely. When you're in industry, absolutely, you'll see that used. We also use what we call a burr mixer with a whip attachment as well. So that's something that you'll see. But for this assignment, we prefer that you do it by hand.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Willie.
Hey, good evening, Chef.
Good evening.
Just a question. We're having kind of a conversation in the chat room. I know the eggs are supposed to be, I think, was it between 70 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit? Is that right?
Generally, yeah.
That's the same for everything, correct? Water, pretty much everything room temperature, correct?
All right, Willie, you're taking us into a very interesting topic, and I'm going to expand on it just a little bit. So check this out. When it comes to working with eggs and emulsion, Willie's question is very intelligent because we deal with temperature variations. If you're working with very cold eggs and very warm oil, your emulsion might not take it. It might not work. So you have to do what we call tempering the ingredients. Tempering is defined as bringing two different products to like temperatures. Okay, does that make sense? So if your eggs are about 70 degrees, your oil needs to be right around 70 degrees as well. It doesn't have to be exact, doesn't. But if there's an extreme difference, like a 40-degree egg yolk and 110-degree oil, you're gonna have a mess trying to make this emulsion. It's not gonna work. The same holds with hollandaise sauce as well. But eggs, we generally keep in the refrigerator. Check this out. An egg that is left out, or no, I'm sorry, an egg in the refrigerator will age in 1 week equal to an egg being left out of the refrigerator for 1 day. So if you leave an egg out of the refrigerator for 1 day, it will take the egg in the refrigerator 1 week to age the equal amount. Does that make sense? That's why we like to keep our eggs refrigerated, because it helps preserve them and keep them fresher longer. When you bring the eggs out, you crack your egg yolks and you begin to whisk them vigorously. That friction will heat them up very, very quickly. And then you'll be real close to the temperature of your oil within minutes. So that's our the short and long of it. Does that answer your question, Willie? What's that?
Okay. Yeah, that answered my question. I just have one more comment, I guess, or I guess a question. Eggs these days are pasteurized, so it's safe to use basically any egg in the store. Is that correct?
Theoretically correct. Theoretically correct, right? We like to use, for these applications, since mayonnaise technically isn't cooked, we do like to use the pasteurized egg yolks, especially when it comes to the preparation of dressings like Caesar dressing that do traditionally have raw eggs. When we do it in bulk in industry, we will search out and source pasteurized egg yolks, which just helps us with that area of the food safety. However, when you're using fresh eggs, the vinegar technically becomes a preservative and helps eliminate a lot of the foodborne illness. So it's kind of a two-sided sword.
Okay.
Okay? Thanks.
Okay.
Sabrina, what's up?
Okay, so question, because I've screwed up my mayonnaise in the past. So how long would you say to leave them out before you separate them? Because I get a little impatient, and when I've made mayonnaise before, you know, when you run out of mayonnaise, you got to make it. So a couple of times I haven't let them sit long enough. And
there's three words when it comes to making any kind of emulsification: patience, love, and tolerance. Right? You got to slow down and take it easy when it comes to making mayonnaise.
Did you say about an hour?
No. Once you get that, you get your egg white and your egg yolk separated, and you're working with just egg yolks. After you add your vinegar and your water and you whisk them, they're going to be about the right temperature.
I think, hey chef, I've made tons of mayonnaise too. I think the bigger problem is not necessarily the temperature of your products. I mean, you don't want them warm, you don't want them, you know, ice cold. Like chef said, it all happens pretty quick. The bigger problem with a mayonnaise not forming correctly is the speed of your whisking. I think that's even more important than your temperatures. So whisking, when I was at a ground school too, I used to stand behind students and go whisk, 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 whisk till they were done. And you whisk, that's, you know, it's more about the speed, I think, more so than the refrigeration or the temperature of your eggs.
It's the rapid agitation that creates the emulsion. So that's a great point. That's a great point. Willie, did you have another question, or were you good?
Oh, I'm good, Chef. I'm good, Chef.
Okay. All right, ladies and gents, Nicholas. Yes, what's up?
How are you, Chef?
Good, and yourself?
I just had a question. The eggs for the emulsion, is there any specific type of egg that's a little bit better to use for those?
Okay. That's a really good question. Number one, you know, I think most of us know, if we don't know the difference between a brown egg and a white egg, other than the parents, there's not much. There's nutritional value remains the same straight across. The organic eggs that you receive are going to have less pesticides. They're probably going to be healthier for your body. And then the free-range chickens that lay the eggs, I think that's just an animal cruelty issue, and I think it's better to buy the free-range eggs because we want to be nice to them too. But other than that, there's not much that's going to create a difference in the final product. So, does that answer your question, Nick?
Sure does. Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome. Veronica, what's up?
I was just thinking when they were talking about the temperature of the eggs, because I tend to be the shortcut queen when I think something's not warm enough. So I have been known to run warm water on the egg itself in the shell and then utilize it.
Yeah, that's not a good practice to get into, because what happens is in the food service industry, all the way across the board, we work with what's called the TDZ, and that's called the temperature danger zone. And generically, that's 40 degrees to 140 degrees. I think they changed it to 40 to 135. But any foods that are in that zone for any period of time have a great chance of increasing the amount of foodborne bacteria that's found within that product. So we don't recommend doing that at all. You know, so try to avoid that if at all possible. But I understand.
If you're prepared, then it's not a problem. It's just sometimes, you know, I need it, and I need it to be a room temperature egg, and I'm using it immediately. I run it out of warm water and pop.
Yeah. Just remember, in the world of culinary arts, chefs, we live and die by proaction versus reaction. So
absolutely, I'll break that habit.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Veronica. I appreciate it. Ladies and gents, let's get back to our video real quick. because we're almost getting through our class. Okay, so he's whisking. He was at the point of adding the oil. Remember, he said add the droplets.
Next, add the oil slowly, drop by drop, while continuing to whisk.
It's the most critical part right there.
When it gets to this point, you can begin to add the oil more quickly.
He created his emulsion. You can increase the flow rate.
It should hold some shape and not resemble.
Those are not droplets.
I was getting nice and thick.
If the mayonnaise becomes too thin, thin the mixture with a little bit of vinegar or water.
Okay, so we saw this video is on your class page as well. I just wanted to see I wanted you all to see the whisking motion and the slowness and the rate at which you add the oil. That's the most critical thing. And like Chef Suzanne was talking about a moment ago, you saw how vigorously he was whisking. That rapid agitation is a critical key to success when it comes to creating that emulsion. So make sure that as you're whisking this week, you do it quickly. Any other questions about mayonnaise? Anna, what's up?
Just a quick question. When we take the eggs out, when they get in room temperature, did you say earlier how long you suggested to leave them out of the refrigerator?
I did not say that, and the reason I didn't say that is in industry, it's pretty rare that you see eggs sitting out because if the health department comes in, they just don't care for it. So by the time you get the egg out, you get the egg white and the egg yolk separated, you mix it with the water and the vinegar, and you whisk it vigorously, the temperature is going to be appropriate. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that rapid agitation with the whisk creates friction, which warms the egg. So that'll take care of it. Anna, did you have a question?
Yes, I made mayonnaise before, but they didn't turn white. Is it because I didn't add water, or is it because my eggs were too yellow and I
acid?
Extremely.
Acid.
I didn't put too much acid.
Yep, vinegar or lemon juice will lighten the color.
Okay, because I did put vinegar. I put white vinegar when I did it. But it wasn't when I was in class. I did it on my own, and it still had a little tinge of yellow.
Yeah, try using lemon juice as well, and that'll lighten it up quite a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Veronica.
Chef, it could also be, depending on where the eggs are from, older eggs the yolks can be a lot darker. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad or anything, but older birds, not necessarily older eggs, older birds have more dark yellow, orange egg yolks sometimes.
It depends on their feed as well,
yes,
that they're fed. So sometimes the egg yolks can be bright yellow. And I know they've been trying to standardize that across all lines so people don't see variations in egg yolks and, send us Americans over the edge. Veronica. Veronica.
I didn't have a question.
Oh, you're good? Okay. Alejandro, what's your question, buddy?
When you're emulsifying the egg yolk and the oil, instead of adding small drops, can you add small splashes and then work from there?
No, because you have to control the rate at which the oil is exposed to the egg yolk. So if you splash a tablespoon in there and try to whisk it in vigorously, initially you're going to run into problems. After you create the emulsion, you could probably get away with trying something like that, but not up front. I'm good.
Okay, so the droplets sort of just introduce each other.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You've got to create that initial emulsion with just a couple of droplets. Once that initial emulsion is created and it begins to thicken up, it changes colors. boom. Then you can increase your flow rate.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jenna, what's up?
Hi, Chef. I was just wondering if you will be grading on the actual color of the mayonnaise itself, if you were to use an older bird, like Suzanne said, if you were to use different type of egg and so forth.
Chef Suzanne?
Yeah. Short answer. It's not about the color of your mayonnaise exactly. It's about the texture. So if your mayonnaise isn't held together and it's broken where you haven't formed your emulsion, that's what is important, is that you're getting the right texture, not necessarily, because some people may want to add a little cayenne or hot sauce or something to their mayonnaise. And so it's not necessarily going to be the color, it's going to be the texture and all the different steps.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
Good. Good answer. Gary, what's up, Gary?
You might have answered my question a couple of people ago, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
Okay.
You mentioned that when we do the oil, you put it in by droplets.
Correct.
At one point, I noticed in the video he was actually pouring it. Do we get to a point that we actually pour it in?
Yes. In the very beginning, he was adding droplets. Just boom, just a little bit, boom, stirring vigorously, creating that emulsion. After that emulsion is created, it begins to thicken, change the color. Then you can add a little bit more cautiously. That doesn't mean you dump the entire gallon in there. That means that you slowly begin to pour it a little bit faster than droplets.
When do you know that you've had enough, that is the right, at that point where you should just stop adding? At what point do you know that?
Okay, the general rule of thumb is 1 egg yolk to 6 ounces. That is the general rule of thumb that we use for thickening, but you want it to be able to stand up. You should be able to stick a spoon inside that mayonnaise and it should stay standing up. Okay? Should be very thick. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gents, Veronica, did you have another question?
Yeah, yes, really quickly. You said 6 ounces. Is that 6 ounces of oil or 6 ounces of liquid altogether?
Oil.
Okay.
Yep. All right, ladies and gents, let's take a quick look at a couple of other items before we wrap up our class here. A couple of things that you're going to be working with once you get into industry to be aware of. Salad dressings, vinaigrettes. We don't keep in a glass bottle like we talked about earlier. Most commonly, you're going to be using squeeze bottles, which are convenient because you put your vinaigrette in there and every time you get a dressing, you shake it vigorously, then you squeeze it onto your salad. And this is what we call a store and pour. You see these quite a bit in bars, but we also use them in kitchens for salad dressings. Helps us to hold the liquid. They're plastic containers. They won't break. And then over here in the corner, these are called cruets. They're quite common in restaurants. Every time a customer orders oil and vinegar, culinary staff will take care of them quite a bit. But if they were ask you for the cruets, one is for oil, one is for vinegar. We don't use them in the kitchen, but they do use them in the dining room. And then these tables up here, these are actually in the pantry area of the kitchen. They're loaded with food on the top. It keeps that food refrigerated nice and fresh during service. And then down below, you'll keep your bulk items. So this is just a little exposure into working with some of these items. This slide here, which will be in your class page, has a couple of different presentations that you can take a look at on your own time to see what you like and what the good parts are. And then this week's assignment, we have 3 parts to this week's assignment. We have our temporary emulsion, which is our vinaigrette. Make sure that you have a solid self-identification photo. We're real big on the professionalism. That's real important. And then your sanitation and station setup. Make sure that sanitation test strip is right on the money. Proper mise en place. And then each assignment will have the specifics that are required for the composed salad, close-up, vegetable, knife skills. We want to see nice knife skills. In other words, we're looking for consistency, right? That's a big, big issue. Plated salad, ingredients and dressing on the side. We cannot tell if you dress the salad, so make sure you put the dressing on the side. And then for the mayonnaise, we need to see it during the development process. And that explains that right there. Chef Suzanne, do you want to handle this next slide?
I will. Please make sure that you all check your email and your messages on a daily basis because I send out information. The first thing that I'm going to send out, and I will send it out to you, you're actually the first group of students I'm ever going to do this for. So I've been making these information sheets that will have tips and information about the assignment, just some helpful hints, some information that will help you, and it's going to come through your email and your messages, so make sure you check those. Also, if I see maybe people struggling with some of the same issues, I may send out yet another note with some issues or with some more helpful tips. So check your messaging in your mail for information, but you're going to be looking out for a message from me called Lasagna Dishes, and on every week I'm going to have a Lasagna Dishes about the assignment. As always, make sure you're reaching out to Chef Warren and myself if you have questions. And don't wait till the last minute. It's really hard to help when you're contacting us late on Tuesday night. So make sure proactive.
Very good. I like that. Christopher, what's going on, buddy?
Yes, Chef. I was just wondering, can we still use the Lysol wipes as a sanitizer, or do you expect the actual
We expect the actual thing. And the reason for that is the Lysol wipes are initially okay until you get the remainder of your equipment. But in industry, they're a major no-no because Lysol wipes have perfumes in them, and they do not sanitize to the proper strength. They're actually a little bit strong, and once you're in industry, there's no Lysol wipes. It's got to be a sanitation bucket. So we would prefer that you get one if you could.
All right.
Sound good? Thanks. Anthony, what's up?
So not the Lysol wipes, but are we allowed to still use the food contact, the actual food safe ones?
If they're food safe ones, you can do that, but we'd really like to see the sanitation bucket.
Okay, yeah. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, it's just the reason for that is it's an industry standard. 99% of the restaurants that you go into have the red buckets with the sanitation solution, and the health department, that's the first thing they look for when they walk in through your door. So, ladies and gents, I think we had a great first live session. I like this class. You're all very interactive. You have your chef coats on. You're looking professional. And I think Chef Suzanne and I are going to have a great couple of weeks learning a lot in this class with all of you. Once again, if anybody has questions, make sure you reach out. You let us know. The presentation that you just saw is going to be put on the class page here in the next few minutes. And this live session will also be on the class page for your reference. So I hope everybody has a fantastic week. We're looking forward to your rest of your assignments this Saturday. Let's bury Chef Suzanne on the weekend and bring it on, bring it on. There you go. So let's do it. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.